Luminar 4 has a lot of tools that you can use to enhance a portrait. What it doesn't have is something specifically for enhancing skin tone or skin color. You can smooth the skin out, you can remove defects, but today we're going to take a look at a tool you probably wouldn't expect to use it to enhance the color of skin. Hi, my name is William Beem. I'm a portrait photographer in Central Florida, and I'm here to try and help you understand your photography processing tools better so you can make better portraits. Today, we're going to be looking in Luminar 4, and one of the things that we want to do is enhance the color and tone of skin. And we've got a couple of photos here, and this is a technique you might not have considered, but it's very fast, it's very simple and effective, and you can dial it into taste to see what tone that you want. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, I've got a portrait here, and everything's nice in place. I like the tone that we have here. There's a bit of shine, and typically when you want to, you would go over to the portrait tab, and you can go ahead and use the shine removal tool to kind of tone that down a bit. It works very well. You can also do the AI skin enhancer. This is a stock photo, so it's really already been processed. I don't think you need to worry about enhancing the skin over here. The question, though, that we're talking about is actually the color of the skin, and it's not necessarily popping off the screen. And there's nothing in here in the AI skin enhancer that's going to help you with that skin color and tone. So we're going to use a different tool. I'm going to go over here to the Essentials tab, and there's a couple of things we can look at. The first thing you might want to look at is maybe if in the light tool, you could try to change the temperature. The problem with that is as you move it, you can see it changes the background. It changes everything to yellow. So yes, we've warmed up our skin, but everything else too. You could try and mask it, but honestly, I think that's kind of a sickly yellow color. And trying to dial in temperature and tint to get it right, to me, is just going to be a bit of a pain. So let's undo that. The next thing you might want to look at is going to color. Skin color is typically going to be red, orange, yellow tones, primarily orange. So let's start there. I want to bring the saturation way up. And you can see we get a little too orange there, so let's bring this down a bit. It's nicer. It's definitely brought out some highlights and some tones. I think let's bring some yellows in, and we'll add some saturation there. And we've got a tone there. I think let's take a look at before and after. You can see, the change in the skin color. We've brought out some warmth and some saturation. And I think that's an improvement. I don't think it's the best that we can do. So I'm going to reset this. Let's take a look at the black and white conversion. Convert to black and white. Let me turn off this compare. And honestly, that's a lovely portrait right there. Let's come over to the saturation. We're going to pull up the reds and the yellows. I'm going to start with a red. And what that does is it starts to bring the color back for that red channel. I found that this number varies depending upon the person and the skin tone that you have. I'm going to leave it around like 125 or so. And then I'm going to bring up the yellows. And that just kind of brings in a little bit more of a glow. And I'll bring that up maybe to 120 or so. Now, we take a look at our before and after. So that's where we started, and this is where we are. I find this color a lot more pleasing to myself. It seems to work. And the problem with working with the color channel is on the lipstick, you notice that when you brought up the red, it really punched up the red. In fact, too much. But over here, when we're doing it with a black and white conversion, we're not getting other colors that are really out of line. So as we move this across, you can see her hair isn't out of line. The background still stays white. And we get what I think is a very lovely skin tone. Let's go ahead and try this on a different photo with a different skin type. Okay, so we've got a different photo. By the way, both of these photos are coming from Adobe Stock if you feel like looking for them. I'll try to put the stock numbers in the description of the show notes here on YouTube. So let's convert this to black and white. We're going to click on saturation. And again, we're going to bring up reds. I kind of dial into 125 as my starting place. And then I bring up yellow. And I'm kind of in the same place. If you got too much yellow, like if I bring it all the way over, you can see to my eye, there's too much yellow on her skin. I kind of bring that back. Sometimes I'll tweak these a little bit to see if I need more red or more yellow. But let's take a look at our before and after. So that's where she was. This is where she is. And again, I think that the skin tone to me is much more natural and much more pleasing with these settings than anything I've tried using other color tools inside of Luminar 4. So it's an unexpected way to get there using a black and white conversion and then going into the saturation to bring those colors up. But It's the easiest tool that I found that will actually work on skin tones and maybe also in the hair. In this case, she's blonde. It didn't affect the other subject, that had black hair. And you can mask these things in and out. So if you need to, and maybe it's affecting something you don't want, you can go ahead and click on Edit Mask and then brush in or brush away, whatever you want to. And also keep in mind, you might be able to do a radial mask because it's only going to affect the colors that you're looking at. In this case, red and yellow for the skin tone. And it's, the teeth are not getting out of whack. The lipstick is not getting overly red. There's a little bit of a change in the color of the lipstick, but it's not like when we used the color tool where it turned that red lipstick into a very bright red. You didn't want to mess the colors that much. So this idea of going to black and white conversion and then using the saturation with red and yellow to affect skin tones really seems to be the quickest and easiest way to get some warmth and some natural tones. I kind of keep myself around to 125, more or less, depending upon the subject, to get this kind of a skin tone. But try it out. Let me know what you think. If you've got some photo subjects, try them, with or without different backgrounds and see if this technique works for you. Remember, if you've got other colors in there, whether it be clothing or a background, you can use the mask just to selectively edit these changes on the skin tone itself. It's not giving us any problems on the eyes. It's not giving us any problem on the teeth. And I think the lipstick is, although it's changing slightly, works with the tones that we're getting. So that was just an idea for you to try out. And let me know in the comments below. Is this something that you've ever tried before, working with black and white and then bringing color back? Or do you prefer another method? If you've got another way to do it, let us know in the comments. You can help some folks out. If you like this video, please go ahead, click the like button. That lets us know if we're doing things right. And if you want to see more like this, go ahead, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I put a video out. And of course, if this is useful to you, share it with a friend. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.